I actually did something I thought I would never do, ever. But
Breaking news, inside information.
we're part of the investment group of the new steakhouse that's coming to downtown.
If your flips had dating profiles, how would you describe them?
Exclusive?
Looked at the dating profile in 9 years, so I don't know.
Me neither.
The US knows what they need, right? So they exclude certain items from the tariffs.
That deal had fallen through twice already.
I haven't seen any of these accounts post anything about Bitcoin in the last 30 days.
One word to describe the market right now.
Interesting.
Funky is a good word. Like this.
We put something on the bucket list.
I have a question, Patrick. Why aren't you in Augusta?
Fake news.
The funny thing is, actually, I had 3 people text me asking if they were coming, if they could get somehow tickets and stuff. So people actually believe.
Almost feels like it's a situation that you're actually on Wall Street. PK is obviously smart, right? No teamwork allowed. It wouldn't make any difference because whatever Patrick's selling and I'm selling ends up in one bag anyways.
I think business is driving us. I think it's a close call.
Is there a name for it?
There is.
Can we say that? Oh no.
Maybe next time.
Welcome back to season 2, guys, on the Let's Talk Development podcast, your go-to show for real estate, business, and lifestyle. I'm Max.
I'm Patrick. We're 2 Germans passionate about real estate, trying to help you guys navigating the world of real estate, investing, buying, building, everything.
And I'm Alan, your producer. Excited to kick off season 2. Exciting guests, exciting things coming up.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those good places. And we appreciate your support.
Sweet. So let's kick off the show, guys. It's been a minute, been almost a year since we've done our podcast. Thought just a quick little catch up, a segment called Since You've Been Gone. You know,
Nice.
quick little catch up with Max and Patrick. So I guess best moment during this podcast hiatus.
I mean, I think all of them were great. We had a lot of fun doing those, and we're glad to kick off season 2 with a lot of cool things ahead of us. But I think one of the favorite moments was when we did the podcast with Eddie Lack and Eddie Waters, which actually gives me an idea. We should probably have them both together
Eddies, okay.
on one of the episodes. Yeah, we had a good time. Those are dear friends of ours, and there was a lot of good laughs.
Okay, Patrick, what about you?
Yeah, it obviously was fun. Take a break. I think it's always good too. You know, we got some family time, friends time. Summers are always a little bit slower in the world of real estate, so it's a good time to be back here in the studio and give some more insights.
There we go. I guess just during this break, or like since we've been off the podcast, what's like a significant like business milestone, even personal milestone you guys have, you can recollect or want to share about, like over this last 10 to 12 months, I guess?
Well, I think that our team has grown, and Patrick and I brought someone on directly to work with us, which is something that I felt like was overdue. So we're very happy with that. The team performance is amazing on the brokerage side. We wrapped up a few cool developments, have some new things in the pipeline. Another big speaking engagement. We're keynote speakers now in the summer in July in Germany again. Very excited about that.
Okay.
So yeah, lots of good stuff.
Okay. What about you, Patrick? Any significant milestone or just like achievement over the last 1 year for development or real estate or personal?
Yeah, like Max said, we finished up a few. Did our biggest development sale. Did the highest price per foot sale that we've done so far. So we broke some records the last 10, 12 months. Stuff that was long in the making. Started a few new ones that we're excited about. They're going to wrap up in the next 2 to 6 months. So yeah, it was busy but good.
But I want the specific. I want like. We'll talk about the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
go into that.
Yeah, obviously the bigger ones take a long time. We did the 9,000 square feet plus on the hillside, which is a long construction process. There's a lot of detail that goes into it. So that was a long process, but
in the middle of COVID, lots of challenges that you just couldn't see coming.
Gotcha. Okay. Any new habits or hobbies you picked up since we've last been on the podcast, or things you've just started doing?
Stretch lab.
Oh,
Stretch lab.
game changer.
What is stretch lab? Talk about that.
It's like you just go in and they stretch you for 50 minutes, and if you're old like me, you feel it. So I was always like on my list to do it. So I finally went in there and signed up for like a 3 months trial run, and it's a game changer. It's really good.
And I used to do it when I lived in Kirland, and I think it was called Stretch Zone. But then the guy that was doing the stretching with me, he kind of left, and then I didn't want to be with anyone else, so I kind of stopped. And when Patrick started, I started pretty much right after him.
Okay.
Now I have my person there. It's actually 30 seconds from our house. It's extremely convenient, and honestly makes a big difference on how you feel. Yeah, it's good.
Is there a reason you tried doing that? Just to feel better overall, body-wise, physically?
Just stay flexible, you
Yeah.
gotta be able to still run around and do shit at 50, 60. So it just keeps you flexible. No back pains, no nothing. You'll as you get older, you appreciate those things.
Okay. Any funny moments?
I want to add one thing.
Oh, you want to
I
add?
started going to church.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That was
That's a
pretty
hack.
cool. Actually, two good friends of mine, they introduced me to the Illuminate Church up in North Scottsdale. That was cool. I actually did something I thought I would never do, ever, which was a Bible study. But I'm actually positively surprised of how much I enjoyed it and how good I think that makes an impact in your life.
Yeah, for sure. Even me being it's crazy. I would never even think. Not it's a bad thing. I was like, oh, Max going to Bible study. Just even hearing that on the phone call when you told me, I was like, whoa, this is a different.
New.
This is something new.
It's very good.
That's sweet. I guess any bucket list things during this hiatus of podcast.
Well, we put something on the bucket list, which is we want to play the Pro-Am at the Phoenix Open. That became after we went this year to the Open, we're like, I think we want to be part of the tournament and play there, which is doable. So I have been working on setting that up. So hopefully next year, if not the year after, Patrick and I can play in the Pro-Am there.
How does one get into the Pro-Am?
Well, you have to
Pay.
You have to pay, but outside of paying, it takes probably a good network and a good connection inside the organization to make that happen sooner than later. So I'm working on that.
Well, make that happen because that'd be great content. great content. Okay. What else? Any shows you guys been watching on this show, movie, whatever it is?
I mean, I watch all sports documentaries. So receiver and quarterback and starting five and
Breakpoint.
Like so anything and everything that's like documentary, like usually it's sports or business. So that's my stuff.
Same here, but if I really want to not think about anything, I watch the Viking show.
The Viking show?
I think it's called Valhalla.
Oh yeah, okay.
On Netflix. It's very aggressive.
Okay. Wait, have you been watching the new Suits at all? Suits LA?
I have not
yet,
watched the new Suits, but that's
It's coming up.
Okay. And speaking of your guy, like Carlos has a new documentary coming on Netflix.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That should be pretty good. Looks pretty good. Okay. Let's see here. Anything? Well, I think we pretty much hit a lot of stuff here. So.
Wait, I see something here.
You like this?
New restaurant discovery.
Okay.
We partnered up with who we would claim is the number one restaurant entrepreneur that we had on our podcast, Teddy Myers. So collectively with a few other friends and business partners, we're part of the investment group of the new steakhouse that's coming to downtown.
Okay.
Very excited about
Breaking news, inside information.
Something like that.
Open probably late summer, so we'll. I'm sure.
Oh, it's already. Oh,
it's happening. It's under construction. It'll open late summer, so we'll probably have some content on that too.
Where is it at?
It's 2 minutes from here, right by the Suns Arena, downtown Phoenix.
Is there a name for it?
There is.
Can we say that? Oh no.
Maybe next time.
Next time? Okay. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Okay. Why the steakhouse? So why investment?
It just happened organically, as always. Like we're together with friends in the inner circle that all do different business ventures, and it kind of came up that that's coming up, and that there's an opportunity to maybe be part of it, and so we jumped in on it, and some other friends and business partners, and we're excited.
So Teddy's he's like kind of championing the whole thing.
He's the head of it. He's putting it together. He's running the show. We're just gonna go eat and point at the sign when we do stories.
There you go. Okay. Anything else on the list? Can you have it? Go to song, playlist, product,
An app.
or app? And I mean, you're always on with this Whoop thing, but
Well, Whoop is that's old news.
Yeah, it's old
but There
news.
is two new apps that I think are very useful. Is one, it's called Journal 5.
no 5.
So daily journaling, AM and PM, but something that's actually something you can implement in your daily schedule, and it doesn't take forever. Like writing it down, handwritten. That's not really my style. So that app kind of helps you just kind of be more reflective and grateful and appreciative of things, and recognize any accomplishments or plan your day ahead. It's just a nice little thing. That's good. And the second one's called Habit Share. It's an app where you can put your routines, anything you want, in there on a daily, weekly basis. There's a certain frequency you can put these tasks in, and then holds you accountable to complete those. It's good.
I gotcha. Okay. Any new apps for you, Patrick? Anything you started doing?
Just games for Leo, just kids games.
Kids games? Wait, what games are you playing with Leo?
Just all kinds of stuff like Animal Doctor, puzzles.
Wait, is he playing video games yet or no?
Yeah, like on the phone, on iPads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is he gonna be a gamer, you think?
I mean, he's got it down. Like, he already knows how to like get in and out of games and switch games when he gets bored, and like hang up on whoever's calling to.
That's crazy. He's
Yeah.
4 years old?
Almost
4.5. Yeah.
Almost 5. Gotcha. Okay. Sweet. Let's hit the real estate. It's been a minute. So a little pulse check on the real estate market. I guess like what's the state of luxury real estate in AZ right now? Kind of think about that. Like, let people know.
It's interesting. I didn't know if you wanted to have a full response.
I guess we have one word to describe the market right now.
Interesting.
Why?
I think it's hard to get a grasp on whether properties sell right away or they're sitting. There's more inventory on the market, more availability, and then we have some political and economical factors that have a big effect on consumer sentiment, and that's why I think it's interesting. It's hard to say, and like I said in the beginning, I'm glad our team is doing amazing. We just published our Q1 numbers. Yeah. We're very proud of everyone's achievements, especially in such an environment that feels a little wonky.
Mm. How about you?
Yeah, I think wonky is a good word. Like this, I was trying to think of one, but yeah, it's interesting. There's definitely an effect on the real estate market from what's happening in general, but then there's also a lot of exceptions to the rule. Some stuff is still selling fast regardless of price points. It's really interesting to try to like figure it out. I think people that still have to buy, they're still buying. Some are that are like buying a second home or are not really in the need of buying right now. I think those are all on the sidelines.
Just like Canadian buyers too. That's mostly a currency situation, and those fall in the pool that Patrick just mentioned. For what it feels like, for the most part, they're part of the secondary buyer pool. So if it's not a necessity, they're holding off right now.
On buying? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Gotcha. Is there a shift in like, I guess like kind of going into a different question, like is there like a shift or like a pattern that has been seen over the last 9-12 months in the market?
Either it sells fairly quickly or it's sitting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think the last 2 or 3 years before that, like pretty much everything sold, maybe even regardless of quality, busy streets, this and that. And I feel like buyers get more picky right now. They have more options. They know they have more time. Stuff's not going to sell it the first few days usually. So I think it's the better product is moving pretty good, and the ones that are challenging to sell, they start to sit right now, which they used to still sell because people need it in house. So I think good product will move. So.
Wait, are people just like waiting for like, oh, they're like, house, or like, I'm gonna wait for the next one to like get built or whatever it is?
Yeah, or they wait for like people to drop the price because they know inventory is going up. The markets are down. So there's so many different variations on how you can skin the cat, I guess, and try to figure out why people do it. But there's a lot of people there's no urgency to buy right now. I think if they see the perfect house, going back to like good product, they'll still buy it right now. But they're not like out there desperately trying to find a house, which was the case 2 or 3 years ago.
And then interest rates and the stock market have a big impact, and it feels like almost feels like it's a situation that you're actually on Wall Street, because the sensitivity for everyone in the marketplace on the sidelines towards what's happening, especially in the stock market.
Yeah.
I mean, we get screenshots from clients the moment there's an upward trend in the stock market. Let the showings begin, and it seems like every little thing that moves, it's just
you get the upward trend from the seller and the downward from the buyer. So we get both screenshots.
And from other agents, right? Contracts canceling, buyers pulling out, buyers canceling their visit to go out and look for houses because their net worth has just been shafted on the stock market. So it's interesting.
Yeah, interesting and wonky.
Yep.
Is there I guess with the climate right now, is there any predictions you guys have for the market, just development and just like overall real estate market for the 2025 remaining?
I mean, we talked to a lot of like other agents, developers, investors, clients. I think overall everybody's pretty optimistic for midterm, long term. So we even though it's right now, it's kind of looking a little iffy and down. Overall, there's still a lot of optimism in the market that people say, by the end of the year, we're probably going to see better rates, better stock markets, and like all this stuff is going to probably bounce back fairly quick. And then you always have a few people that, stick to it's been 15 good years, it's got to come down. But I would say 80% of people are positive and 20% see something quote unquote bad happening. So, nobody knows, right? We'll know at the end of the year.
Is there like I know you guys like rely a lot on investors. Like, is there like investor the mindset shift at all?
A little bit from the European investors. Okay. Where there was a little bit more of a positive sentiment right before the administration change, compared to where things are now. There is more hesitation, and I wouldn't necessarily say it only has to do with what's going on right now here, but also in Germany, things are not very stable right now. So the combination of both, creates almost like a certain freeze situation where it's just on pause and people kind of wait how things shake out.
Is it more like people are just hesitant to just even like put money into something right now, or there's like they don't see like the growth or the investment for the future? Like, what's like the?
I think there's some hesitation, but at the same time, you have a different type of people, just like Patrick said. There's a lot of guys that are very seasoned, very experienced, very wealthy, that understand that the chaos creates opportunity.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're also in that boat because we recently purchased a new development, and we're obviously aware of what's going on right now, but we believe in the market and the fundamentals that are here, and that was not a small acquisition. The actual raise from the investment side was not a big deal. It went pretty smooth, almost a $2 million equity raise. So as you can see, there's always two sides to the...
It's a give and take.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha. Is there I guess how has it affected yours and Patrick's like mindset as far as, like you just said, that you acquire a new development, like as far as, is it more like slower on doing more developments or same pace? Or
I think it's slim pickings. So it's hard to find good deals. That environment has been in place for
2-3 years.
I don't know, 2 or 3 years. So when we see an opportunity, and we obviously look at deals on a regular basis, if we see it's a good fit, we do the deal. But it's been a moment since we acquired something new on the residential side.
Gotcha. Okay. Is there a different question here? You guys want to get into tariffs at all right now?
We can.
I guess talking to you, Patrick, have you seen any immediate impact right now, or what do you think the impact will be as far as the development goes from tariffs?
I think a lot of the stuff is excluded from it already. So lumber coming from Canada is the U.S. knows what they need, right? So they exclude certain items from the tariffs. A lot of stuff is construction related. So I think there's nothing too bad for us. A lot of stuff in the higher price point that we do is all American made to begin with. I was just talking to another developer. They order windows from overseas, so that price difference is going to go away, which is the whole point of the tariffs, right? So that's what Trump's trying to do, that people buy local and support local. But again, at our price point, the quality, the product from U.S. made companies is just better. So I don't think it's going to hit the construction site too hard right now. It's already on pause. There's already going to be some changes to it. So I think it's one of the things everybody's kind of freaking out right now, and it's going to calm down. And we had the same thing when COVID came. Everybody was freaking out, and it kind of went there's always stuff that kind of shakes the whole market. Not just real estate, not just the stock. Like everything just gets a little wonky again, and then and then it kind of fades out, and then 6 months from now, everyone's gonna look back and say that it's just a speed bump along the way. So that's why Max and I, we always try to stay consistent with what we do. If you can't control it, you got to live with it. You got to adjust around it. So I think there's going to be some impact, but I think it's going to be very manageable.
I guess for luxury, or you're saying overall real estate, or there's luxury real estate is fine?
I think in general it's going to be fine. Again, whatever they need is going to be excluded from tariffs, or they're going to be special tariffs on the stuff that they need, and vice versa, right? It's the same way the other way around. There's stuff that other countries need from the U.S., which they're going to want that excluded from stuff. So I think it's going to all work out just fine. The question is how fast and how impactful it really is going to be on everybody. But I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as buying a Louis Vuitton bag that's a Italian-made luxury item that they can just slap 25% on, because that's a luxury item nobody needs. But we need houses, we need certain things that are important. So I think they'll all come to terms on what can be part of the tariffs and that kind of stuff, and what's going to be excluded. So I think we'll be fine.
Gotcha. You want to add to that?
I agree.
Gotcha. There we go. Do you, I guess, for the consumer sentiment, I guess, going back to what we were talking about earlier, as far as buying and selling behaviors with the tariffs, do you think any impact of impact with tariffs and inflation and all that? What do you think the behavioral, right now and then the end of 2025, I guess, as far as the behaviors go for consumers that are looking to buy and also sell? So
I think it's the same thing. People right now have the option to wait, but everybody's going to come back in the market. If you need a bigger house, or if you're moving to a different state for a job, or whatever the case may be, you're going to have to buy, you're going to have to sell. So, it's just usually stuff like low prices, low interest rates. That's kind of what creates those buzzes. So I think until then, we're just going to have a normal quote unquote market. Whoever needs to buy and sell will. And then I think once rates come down and the market stabilizes a little bit and everything, we're going to see a lot more people getting active again, which is going to drive up prices and demand again. So it's just going to come and go in waves. And the hard part is to predict when everything's up and when it's down.
Do you guys have any, like, outside of real estate, just like thoughts on the whole tariff situation, like how it's like affecting the economy and all that? Just is it going to be beneficial, or like it's hard to see the short term gain for it, but long term it's going to be balances.
I think the way it's proposed right now, it's a little wild, but the general idea of it has obviously been in place for a long time on a lot of items between a lot of different countries. So it's nothing new. It's just been introduced very aggressively, and but I think it's been very one-sided. So I think there's going to be some form of it in the future that's going to be part of it, and it's just not going to be as drastic as it is right now. But I think it's fair to do, and I think it'll just fade into the market and to the new reality.
And it's part of the agenda anyways, right? That was the plan from the beginning. That was, I guess, part of why he was elected. But I agree with Patrick. The way this has been like introduced was very aggressive, but I could also see that that's part of the plan to begin with. So it's gonna be fine, just like everything else always.
Yeah,
it's going to turn out okay.
There we go. Okay. Let's hit on. Okay, let's talk about some notable developments over the last 1 year. You can have the same development, kind of like pick people inside to a notable development over the last year, lessons, insight, kind of take us behind the scenes of challenges. And
I guess there's this good American saying that we learned a while ago. It's a bird in the hand and two in the bush.
Okay.
Sometimes you don't know if it's the hand, the bush, or both, or maybe maybe stay in the bush. You just never know. I think, and that what I'm referring to there is obviously pre-selling, spec developments, which our track record is extremely high. Off the top of my head, it's probably 80% plus, and what we do know by now is if you finish a house and turn the lights on, furniture in, there's always going to be fairly likely, more than not, more profit to be made on those deals, and most likely less brain damage because nothing can be changed at that point. And or anything can be changed, but it's after close of escrow directly with a builder, not us being involved along the way on changes, executing on those, delaying the progress. And I think that's I think the biggest thing.
Is there like a specific project we can talk about over this last year that kind of stands out as far as maybe things went wrong, but eventually it found, or even just like, I guess just kind of to take people in as far as like one specific project or development?
I think we can really almost generalize it, because we did have 3 or 4 in the last like 6 to 12 months that were sold before they were 100% completed, where every time it's the same. Like the buyer comes in, they make some changes, which adds to the time, adds to the complexity of the deal, the construction, everything. We always say the lesson learned is just don't do it anymore. And then somebody puts an offer in front of you, and going back to what Max said, now you're like debating, like, should we just, just take the singles and then, don't swing for the fence every time. So, and then we end up kind of going back towards like just accepting and working with the buyer and making the house, now a custom built for them almost. Definitely challenging, definitely more brain damage, but also, you kind of know what you got. And
even on the agent side, we had good friends of ours that just bought a property. We represented them. It was an off-market pre-sale, and with the intricacies that a transaction of that caliber, about 3 months from completion, brings with it. And I think they would attest that it was a lot of headache, because the house was just sold. They were moving. They thought they were moving, then they had to change again. There was a lot of things in the background that happened there. But I think at the end of the day, on that particular deal, the kind of the price that we were able to secure, and the deal that we were able to structure coming in early, pre-completion off market, I think will be something that long term they will be happy about, and they understand it, that's what it's going to be, and that's what it's going to take. And there too, it was not completed when we thought it was going to be completed. That's the classic with every project, and that's nothing against the builder developer. That's just what it is. So we know by now what we get ourselves and our clients involved to when it comes to these deals.
Is there one that gave you trouble? And then we can move on to something else. But just like one, and maybe gave you trouble. Maybe you thought it'd be a little easier than it was supposed to be, I guess.
Same thing. I think we can just generalize that and say
they all give you all trouble.
They all give us trouble. I saw your question up there for like a specific property. I think one that we can briefly touch on that we just acquired that we're going to start construction on is a full remodel, 8,500 square feet. That we just closed it about 4 weeks ago. So it'll be a 10, 12 months project. Working on plans and everything.
We just started demo today.
So that's going to be a good one to, kind of keep our eye on as we go for the next 10 to 12 months. Reason we picked this one, and I'm just reading your question. So, the reason we chose that specific one is because we felt like there was a lot of value in the existing structure. We felt like the location has been an oversight from a lot of people that just haven't focused on that. Like you see big numbers just west of the main street there, south of the neighborhood. So we just felt like it makes no sense that a house of that size with this quality is not going for more. There's a certain risk with that because, we got a good price. So now we got to make sure that on the back end, people compare ours to those, way more expensive ones. To get the premium, but we feel good about it. We talked to a lot of people in the industry, and everybody agreed with us. And since we bought it, 2 more went on the market, and they're going for $1 million plus more than what we paid.
They're smaller,
and they're selling. So now it was like, how did you guys steal that house for that price? Like you guys absolutely stole it. We're like, we didn't. We just were the only ones that kind of like did the homework and kind of like really dove into this before.
And that happened before a few times on deals. And I guess that's the art of identifying an opportunity.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be the first one, but with like enough data supporting that you're not going to be the only one. You have to be the first one, not the only one. If you're the only one, you're not going to get the big price. But now we get people that are paying a significant premium just to be on the same street, and so now we're looking pretty good. So we'll keep you guys posted on that one.
There we go. I'm excited about to hear about that. Let's get away from real estate a little bit. I have a question, Patrick. Why aren't you in Augusta?
I know.
I saw somewhere you're coming back in retirement.
Fake news. Fake news.
The funny thing is, actually, I had 3 people text me asking if they were coming, if they could get somehow tickets and stuff. So people actually believe. Yeah,
hey, that's crazy.
I know. It was funny how many people actually.
Well, you fooled us too because we didn't even know you were posting.
Yeah, April Fools.
So that was a good one. I mean, we talked about we'll go back to Augusta. We were there 5 years ago.
Next year we're going again.
Yeah, maybe next year, the year, but we'll definitely go back at some point. Yeah.
Any thoughts on this year so far? I know there's some weather stuff happening, but I can pull up the tournament right now. But any thoughts on how it's looking right now as far as we're talking on a Friday of the Masters? Where do you think it's gonna finish? Any dark horses might pop up? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the guy that's at the top, Justin Rose, was up there 8 times already. He's never won it, so I like him a lot as a player and a person, but I don't think he's gonna hold on to this. I would kind of like to see McIlroy win it, just because he hasn't won ever. That's the one he's missing, for the Grand Slam to complete it. So I think DeChambeau is probably the best player right now overall, like very consistent. So it's going to be an interesting weekend, and it's the Masters, so you never know. It's always hard for the dark horses to shine in Augusta, just because experience and everything is just a big part of it. So I think it's going to be DeChambeau or McIlroy.
And I was also hearing that Shambo, because he's a live player, they're not showing him on camera as much, so we can't really see him because he's doing well, but they're not really seeing him on the live podcast.
Well, if he's in the leader flight on Sunday, he'll be on.
Oh yeah, he'd be on. But I'm saying now, guys, like people are like, there's a guy through his YouTube, they're showing him playing because they're not cutting to him as much on the live broadcast because he's live golf.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things where I think that backfires. The more they do stuff like that, the more people are gonna go against this kind of stuff. I mean, if he's the second best player, they should show him. So
yeah,
I think it's the same thing. It's too much politics at sports. They should just let him play and show the best players.
Gotcha. Let's go to a sore subject for all of us: the Phoenix Suns.
Should we talk about the price increase that we coughed up first for the extension of our season tickets?
Talk about it.
I mean, they raised the price 20% after the worst season in 5 years. Interesting decision, but I mean, it's sold out every time, so it is what it is.
Wait, they like just increase it right now?
Yeah, for next season.
Next season.
Yep.
Dang.
It's pretty steep price increase for a team that sucks, but yeah.
I mean, you guys have been to the games. I mean, I can just tell by just watching it on TV. Like the last half of the season, like no one wants to be there anymore. They're just trying to just be there, But what do you guys think? These are the games.
I mean, we still go, obviously. We still support, right? We understand that right now they're just not playing good. The last game we went was 2 weeks ago. I mean, I don't know.
Who are they playing?
Houston.
I
mean, that was just a disaster.
Oh yeah, I do remember this.
And it started off fine first 2 quarters, but then you could like sense all of a sudden there's just feels like no heart, nobody cares, no heart, nobody takes the reins, and then it feels like they're there to be there, and then it just goes downhill real quick.
I could just say clocking in, clocking out.
But
so what do you think happens? What's like KD gets traded? I say just blow it up at this point.
I mean, if you blow it up, what are you going to do? You pretty much gave away all your trades for the next 7 years.
And I'm saying you trade Booker and get some draft picks back at this point. That's just me.
I don't think they're going to let Booker go, and I think he's going to stay. I think he's the only one that still like cares and scores, and I think he's one of those guys that could potentially just have his whole career here. Just like Nowitzki in Dallas and whatever. Like there's just some players that just belong to a certain team. So I think they're going to make some other changes, but yeah, I think there's going to be a couple of rough years ahead.
KD definitely is gone. He's definitely traded. Beal, they might cut. I heard they might cut him instead of just trading because no one wants Beal right now. His stock is very low.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Sweet. Let's get to some questions that people have sent in. Okay. Let's hit the mailbag here. Question from Troy. You guys came here and built from scratch a well-known and reputable brand for yourselves. What is the main mindset trait you feel helped you accomplish this, and what advice would you give to be to others?
Big question from Troy. Doesn't surprise me. I think that the biggest mindset trait is that failure was not an option. That's the first one. The second one is the drive to make sure that failure is not an option. And we say it over and over again, the fact that it's the two of us that just makes, I think that makes all the difference. Because I can think of countless moments from both of us. Sometimes only him, sometimes only me, sometimes we both together at the same time, which those are the most difficult ones, where you just feel like you might not be able to overcome certain speed bumps. But the more you get over those, the less you are concerned. And then at some point, you get to a point where I think we're now, I can't say when that changed, but I don't care what speed bump, how big, how long. I know we'll always come out winning on the other side.
What about you, Patrick? Any mindset trait or advice to others similar to what you or how you and Max built this?
No, I think like Max said, we always try to somehow stay positive. There's a huge benefit of being a team of two versus trying to do stuff by yourself. Just because you complement each other in certain things. There's stuff that one is good at, the other one maybe not as good. There's days where one of us is maybe a little bit of a down or is stressed out, and then the other one comes in and says, "We got this. Don't worry about it." Or it's just, I think there's a huge. It helps the mindset and the motivation and the focus that there's two of you, and you kind of keep each other kind of like moving and in line and motivated, and you put new goals out there and stuff. So I think that's something that obviously is not easy to find, but I think it's one of those where 1 and 1 is not 2, 1 and 1 is 4 type thing. Like,
And it's very consistent. And by now, I can't emphasize this enough. Like, our team is just amazing. Like, what was never really the plan to build turned out something that we're very proud of. That supports our business. A lot of synergies, a lot of deals being done within the brokerage. Awards being won by agents. Shout out to Haley for your 40 under 40. It's just really cool to see how everyone's thriving, and it's just a very good representation. It's a lot of fun.
Speaking of the partnership, we have a question from PK here. Who would sell more real estate in 1 year? No teamwork allowed. Same market.
Me.
Yeah, Max.
Dang, you guys even fight about it? Argue, but debate about it?
But nice. PK is obviously smart, right? No teamwork allowed. It wouldn't make any difference because whatever Patrick's selling and I'm selling ends up in one bag anyways and gets split straight down the middle.
And I think the other thing is we do it like different, same thing. We're doing different stuff. He's more engaged in those transaction things. I think if we look at revenue that comes out of transactions and projects and all the stuff we do, then I think we're back to a 50-50. So it's he sells more. It's exactly what he does. He's more on the phone, and I'm more in the field. So it's an easy one.
Another great question here. If your flips had dating profiles, how would you describe them?
Exclusive, timeless, luxurious, valuable.
I don't know. I haven't looked at the dating profile in 9 years, so I don't know.
Me neither. I just made that up.
Okay. Let's see here. What's the weirdest thing you've ever found during a walkthrough or a demo?
Actually, PK on the toilet. Remember you were on the toilet? Yeah, it was on Silvercrest. We did demo and we did this video, and it was obviously a stage thing, but opened the door and he was sitting on the toilet with a sledgehammer.
First video, yeah.
That's actually you. Do you remember something else?
I mean, nothing too crazy. I mean,
guns, drugs.
We found, we found some a bag of weed on a job site, and the demo guy came in. He's like, "Oh, can I have this?" We're like, "Sure." We don't want anything to do with it. We're just gonna leave it where it is, and we walk out. We don't know what happened. You guys do whatever you want.
Well, we saw heroin needles.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Cocaine, guns, lots of trash, dead animals. Definitely saw human blood here and there.
Yeah. Nothing good. We haven't seen anything good. Let's put it that way. Lots of shit.
So a lot of weird things for sure.
A lot of weird things, yeah.
Okay. Okay, question here. If I'm a new investor, what's one mistake to avoid in 2025?
I mean, there's a lot of things to avoid, but there's also, you got to get started on something, right? Like everybody says, whatever, buy the dip. Well, what's the dip, right? Max and I hate the whole, everybody's pushing, for months you heard everybody telling like how Bitcoin is like the best thing in the world. I haven't seen any of these accounts post anything about Bitcoin in the last 30 days. Like it's just very annoying to me when people like try to push something that's like hyped right now, but they're not really showing the truth behind it when it doesn't go as well, right? All these people lost 40% of their portfolio. I haven't seen anything about it, heard anything about it. So I think that's the thing. Like don't trust what you see on social media that's like short term, that's hyped. Do your due diligence on whatever it is. Diversify. I'm sure everybody that bought all the Bitcoin with all their money is regretting it right now. If you would have split that up and put some in mutual funds, put some in maybe hard money loans where you get a guaranteed 8%, some maybe in a flip project, with a partner or something. So diversify. Don't get shiny object just because people tell you it's the greatest investment in the world. And then just steady Eddie, steady wins the race.
Yeah, and get started. Can't just be holding on that sideline forever, because you'll be lots of opportunities will be passing by you, and then you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I wish I would have done something. So you gotta actually do it.
Question here. What the amount of business you both do? What keeps you driving? The business versus the business driving you from
Welk, from
Welk.
Andrew. I think that
I think business is driving us. I think it's a close call.
But we're also I think we've become a lot more selective on the things that we do, the people that we work with. I would say we're very organized, and that keeps this fairly smooth, I would say.
Yeah, I think we get better at picking, our battles and trying to focus on stuff. But if you do a lot of stuff, there'll always be, like the business will always push you in certain directions for certain days and times. There's stuff that comes up and all of a sudden we're like buried with something for a week or two, and you just got to do it and get through it. And then there's other times where you can be a little bit more selective and, trying to be more efficient.
Gotcha. Let's see here. What design and style trends are you loving these days? From Nikki.
Of course, Nikki would ask that. I mean, I think Patrick and I always have pretty much the same style. We like to be casual, obviously. That's something that you would not really do in the business world. Back in Germany, we adapted to that fairly quickly. But I think we also know how to put a good suit on and dress European casual.
Wait, I don't know if you mean like your personal style or like
design
I
know who that is. So most likely it has something to do with clothes.
Okay.
But maybe let Patrick answer the question on design styles then.
Yeah, I think on the real estate side, I think we just as always, same thing. It comes and goes, right? We saw a lot of grays and whites, and then it went to blacks with woods. Now it's going back to earth tones and light woods and plaster and all the stuff that even 5 years ago everybody's like, "Are you guys crazy? You can't do it." So I think that everything comes in phases. Nobody has a crystal ball what's going to be the next phase. If you talk to guys like Max just says, plaster. If you talk to them, they pretty much doing more plaster in the months now than it did in the last 5 years, because it wasn't a thing. Now everybody wants it, right? So for specs, you got to put some of it in because that's what people want right now, but you also got to be careful that you don't overdo it because that could change within a year or two. So, trying to stay somewhat timeless, maybe not overdo a specific style in that what's currently trending. Hard to generalize that, but I think the modern white box is going away a little bit right now. It's getting a little bit more warm and fuzzy again on the inside. So yeah.
Okay, another question here. What's your never again client story that you still laugh about today?
I don't know if it falls under never again, but something like that. Okay, so we have a client that's buying a house from us. It was a pre-sale too, and when we presented the opportunity, That deal had fallen through twice already, all pre-construction, pre-completion, and we presented all the design finishes that have been chosen. The client said, looks amazing, I'm not going to change a single thing. It's probably the biggest joke that we heard, because he changed so much.
Almost everything, yeah.
Pretty much everything.
Wait, when did it change? Like how far after?
Well,
you said
pretty
that?
much when we entered into the contract, there was a design phase where things were reviewed, and that's when him and his wife slowly but surely started asking for other alternatives, which is obviously fine and it's their right. But every time we see him, we're like, I'm so glad that you didn't change anything. Remember that?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Some funny questions here, and we'll finish out here. From your good old friend Nico, why do Germans have such bad food? Dang, it's a hot take from Nico.
Yeah, Nico. I don't know. I think it just hasn't been to the right spots. We got to take him. I mean, I saw him at Tokai the other day, so German food's better than that, that's for sure. It's different. It's good quality, different stuff. The German food you eat in the US has nothing to do with the German food in Germany.
Yeah, Nico is not the most traveled guy, so
We'll
take it. Nico, open invite Germany.
Okay,
Dinner
we
on
got
us.
you.
He needs to be cultured, you're saying.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay. I think we'll go there. Let's look ahead, and we'll finish up here. I guess just talking about the podcast. What are you excited about? Bringing back the podcast season 2. Just doing the podcast again. What are you guys?
Yeah, I think
excited
like
about?
Patrick said, it was good to take a break. We had a lot going on, but we're also very excited to get back into it. Our next guests are 2 of our best friends and business partners. We're very excited to have them. It's probably going to happen in the next 3 to 4 weeks. And here we enjoy hanging out with you. You do a great job in putting all of this together. Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
There we go. Anything from you, Patrick? Or you?
No, same. I think it's always good to talk about stuff. I think we always have people that reach out afterwards and kind of continue a conversation on certain topics that we may talk about in the podcast. So we enjoy it and hopefully provide some value to some of the listeners, and it'll be fun to get back into it.
Sweet. We're just a quarter of the way in, or this past quarter. Anything you're looking to achieve by the end of 2025? Business, personal, it can be both of those.
So we're on track to hit $1 billion in Korea sales. We estimate that to happen around fall. That's a non-negotiable, and it will happen. So we're very excited. We're excited for that. And then Patrick and I have a personal goal as far as transaction volume this year of about 150 million, which I'm also very confident, and it's also non-negotiable to hit that by the end of 2025.
What about you, Patrick? Anything add to that?
No, I mean, those are the goals. I mean, we have a couple development deals that we're trying to wrap up. We got a couple new ventures that we're going to get into that we'll talk about when time comes, just like the restaurant and other stuff. So we'll get into some of those things. But yeah, those are kind of the big things for the next 12 months, I guess.
Gotcha. Perfect. Maybe we can go ahead and wrap it up.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us today. Alan, thanks for putting that together again.
Season
like
2.
I said, you do a great job, and I know it's a lot of work to put that together. So thank you so much, and we hope you got some valuable content. Feel free to obviously reach out to us. We're always happy to chat and go into further discussions.
And again, please subscribe, share your feedback with us, comments, let us know who you guys want to see on the show. If you have any topics you want us to talk about or get people on to talk about, let us know, and we're looking forward to seeing you in the next one.
Yep, season 2. Stay tuned, guys. Big things ahead. See you guys later.
See you later. And smile.
See ya.
Big smile.